What is that melody? Hold it together. Hold it together. Hold it together. Hold it together. Hold it together.
Yeah, that's GG's right there.
Sigma is finally on the PTR. No more teasing, no more speculating, just straight up testing. And if there was ever a doubt in your mind that I'm absolutely terrible at the tank role in large, then Sigma will be the nail in the coffin to sell that consensus. I'm not even gonna pretend that I have any idea how to play the character, but that doesn't stop a bunch of people asking me what I think about him. So I just want you to watch this video knowing the context behind it. I am terrible at tanking as is, and this character does not make it any easier for me. Furthermore, if you have not watched the origin story yet, I highly recommend you do so. You are seriously missing out if you don't. The direction, performance, and that piece are absolutely amazing. As a matter of fact, or opinion, I guess, I would be so bold as to claim that this is the best origin teaser they've made to date. So, this lousy Zenyatta one-trick is in love with the voice actor but does not know how to play the character. What could I have to say about him other than that his shoulder plates are imported straight out of World of Warcraft? Well, I want to avoid any power-related discussion in this video. I want to talk about Sigma in strict relation to his utility. The reason being that, while numerical values can be tweaked, and Jeff has assured us that they will be looking into those very closely, the general hero design is what it is. And even though Sigma is one of the most interesting characters they have ever added to the game, I have to say that my first impression is not the most positive. Don't get me wrong, it's really cool that they add a hero that is difficult to play. You can do a ton of crazy stuff with him, however, all of that is built on a utility kit that I have learned to absolutely despise. And the reason becomes very apparent once you dissect what he actually does. He can toss a boulder at you that can in fact stun you. He can absorb damage and make himself tankier as a result of absorbing said damage. He can summon a barrier and place it in almost any location at will. His ultimate makes you float in the air to be sitting ducks waiting to be destroyed. So he has a damage absorb, he has the potential to be really tanky, he can stun you, and his ultimate takes all agency away from the players caught in it. The good thing is that almost every ability is very properly telegraphed. While his ultimate is difficult, if not impossible, to dodge depending on your distance away from the center, all the animations that accompany his other skills telegraph what he's about to do, and as such, it gives you some time to react. But that does not change the fact that this entire character was built around the idea of control, and that means that his opposition is going to have to surrender their own control. Now, that does not seem like the biggest deal if you look at him in a vacuum. Really, the only supremely powerful thing about him is his ultimate, and that takes a very long time to charge. So is it really that big of a problem? It is when you look at him in relation to the rest of the cast. One of the most annoying characters in this game to me personally is Hammond. Reason being that he is very oppressive to play against as a support given how tanky he is, and given that doing as much as grazing you with his mech makes you fly across the map at Mach 5. Not to mention that he can one-shot combo squishies when none of your teammates turn around to either peel for you or to stun him out of it. While there is counterplay to Hammond, I found that most of the DPS players I come across just don't like picking them. Since he always goes for the backline, they don't see the problem. But whenever a counter is picked and that player goes out of the way to mess them up, Hammond really does not seem that strong anymore. But again, that is one isolated instance. There are a ton of characters in Overwatch that have some form of crowd control in their kit. You can create an entire composition full of characters that constantly boop the enemies around. And that is one of the most infuriating things in this game if your team does not want to counterpick against it. That means that if we look at Sigma in a team environment, it is another character added to the list of annoyances that we have to deal with. Does it really matter to you that Sigma is difficult to play when you are the one caught in the middle of his ultimate? Is it fun eating a boulder to the face to get stunned? Do you enjoy having your damage not only absorbed, but then used against you? I am honestly just a little frustrated that they add another character that not only has some form of CC in their kit, but one that is entirely built around it. And I get it, we hate the bunker meta and his ultimate can be a good counter because it elevates the enemy team above their piece invulnerability, but at what cost? Another hero that is going to make it more difficult for you to aim, another hero that is going to disorientate you, another hero that adds barriers for you to spam down. With that said, a lot of his viability seems to be dependent on the player that attempts to utilize his kit, and given how difficult he's to play, these might even be problems that most of us rarely ever have to deal with. Really, it's not about how powerful or viable he is, it's mostly about my fear of his kit adding more annoyances than anything else, which is not something I can really confirm until I see him play out in a live environment. My opinion later down the line might change drastically from my first impression, and I guess only time will tell. But I mean, his voice actor is really cool though.
Gravity is a harness. I have harnessed the harness. Together. It's in him.
Now it's your turn. Disregarding how bad of a light I have just put on Sigma, what do you think about him? Got a chance to try him on the PTR? Do you even see him being viable? I'll be looking forward to reading your guys' opinions down in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you guys next time.